You know, that crazy moment in life when you just say, screw it, I'll figure it out. That was me. I got on a plane to the Philippines with an empty wallet, no backup plan, and honestly, no idea what was waiting for me on the other side. I still remember standing in the Manila airport, broke, sweating, holding my single backpack, thinking, what the hell did I just do? I had less than $5 to my name, and nowhere to go. But the story, this is how I survived, learned, and fell in love with the Philippines in ways I never expected. When I first arrived, I didn't even know how expensive or cheap things were here. I thought maybe I could live off a few hundred pesos for a week. Spoiler alert, I couldn't. I had to think fast. I walked around the city, just trying to find Wi-Fi spots, cafes, gas stations, even outside 7-Eleven, just so I could contact someone or search for opportunities. The first big shock, how kind the people were. I looked lost, exhausted, and probably smelled like jet fuel and panic. But every person I met, from the tricycle drivers to random street vendors, smiled and offered help. One man even gave me a free meal. He said, "Don't worry, sir. You'll be okay. You're in the Philippines now." That hit me. I had nothing, but here I was, surrounded by people who gave without asking for anything in return. I spent my first night sleeping on cheap hostel beds, sometimes even in a small bamboo hut near the beach, because it was cheaper than any hotel. At night, I'd just listen to the sound of the waves and think, maybe this is how freedom feels, scary but peaceful. Now, don't get me wrong, surviving wasn't easy. There were days I skipped meals just to save enough for a jeepney ride to a job interview. I tried everything, online gigs, teaching English, selling photos I took on my phone, even helping at local markets. Anything that could earn me a few pesos. I did it. Then came the turning point. I met a local family who ran a small eatery. I helped them out by washing dishes, cleaning tables, and taking photos for their little Facebook page. In return, they gave me food and a place to sleep in the back. That was my lifeline. The smell of freshly cooked adobo, the sound of laughter from customers, and the sense of belonging, it gave me purpose. That's when I started to understand what makes the Philippines different. It's not just the islands or the food, it's the people. Filipinos have this way of making you feel at home, even when you have nothing. They'll share the last spoon of rice with you and smile like it is a feast. I remember one evening, it started raining, heavy tropical rain, the kind that turns streets into rivers. I was stuck outside, soaked, hungry, and ready to give up. But a group of students saw me, wabbered me over and said, "Come inside, kuya." They shared their umbrella, their snacks, and we talked for hours. That night, I realized I might have come to the Philippines with no money, but I wasn't poor anymore. I had kindness, connection, and hope. Esta impasit satu, learning a few Tagalog words. Salamat kumusta, kain tayo. I'd practice with locals, and they'd laugh at my accent, but appreciate the effort. Slowly, doors opened. A small photography gig here, an English tutoring job there. I was surviving, and for the first time, actually living. But let me be real, there were still hard days. Days when I missed home, when I felt like an outsider, when I questioned if this was all a mistake. The hardest part wasn't being broke, it was being uncertain. I didn't know how long I could keep it up. Then came my biggest challenge. My visa was about to expire, and I had to figure out how to extend it with barely any money. I remember walking into the immigration office, nervous as hell, explaining my situation. The officer looked at me and said, "You're honest. Don't worry, we'll help you out." And they did. That moment showed me something powerful. The Philippines is not just a place. It's a community that looks out for you. Things began to change after that. My small side hustles grew. I learned how to make content about life in the Philippines, photos, stories, videos, and people started watching. Filipinos would comment, "Thank you for appreciating our country." That is when it hit me, the same country that helped me survive was now helping me build my life. The climax of it all came when that same family from the Carinderia told me they considered me part of their family now. They said, "You're not just a visitor anymore. You're one of us." I'll never forget that. From a broke foreigner with no plan to someone who found family, love, and purpose in the Philippines. That's my story. Now, whenever someone asks me, How did you survive with no money? I tell them, I didn't just survive, I lived. Because surviving isn't about money. It's about the people who show up when you have nothing, the lessons you learn when everything's uncertain, and the courage to keep moving forward, even when you're scared. If you're watching this thinking of moving to the Philippines or anywhere new, let me tell you, don't wait until everything's perfect. You'll never be ready. Just go. Life rewards the bold, and sometimes the biggest risks lead to the most beautiful stories. Every morning, I wake up, look at the sunrise over the ocean, and think about that. First night I arrived here, broke, lost, and terrified. Now, I smiled because that version of me had no idea he was about to find everything he never knew he needed. The Philippines didn't just teach me how to survive, it taught me how to live simply, love deeply, and be grateful for every single day. And that, right there, is the real treasure I found here.